Alright everybody, it is the next day and I've done a little bit of work without videotaping it because just pretty much all it was disassembling everything that I did yesterday and then running a wire from the actual turn signal fuse, which is right here in the firewall, which I'm going to clean this up here in a minute, but I'm just trying to do proof of concept, which what we did is I ran this inside the door panel here, and the wire that I grabbed was actually off of, so I can unplug it. It's the blue connector that goes to your mirror, and the blue with the white tracer is actually your turn signal. So what I did is I cut it, and then I put the diode in line, which it has to be a certain way. You can see the white line is down, it's on the polarity, it's actually on the far side, so the power comes from the plug to the mirror. So the white line goes right there. And then I have you see my red wire tied in here, and I'm going to show you where the other resistor and diode is here in a second. And I've of course got my heat shrink, so I can just slide it back over here. So basically we have two circuits merged into one with a diode here that stops the flow from going back up here. So whenever the red wire is energized, it stops the flow from going back into the truck, and basically when you turn on your parking lights, it turns on your blinkers too, and vice versa. So we're going to plug this back in. I'm going to show you where I've got the other one. Hang this on the door handle there. And you can see basically the way, also the way that I fished it through the little boot down here is I used a normal coat hanger and ran it through, taped it on, pulled it through. It was pretty simple, straightforward. Ran it through a grommet in the firewall, kept it easy. Now, I put the resistor and the other diode down here. The reason why is I'm not sure I'm happy with the brightness of the LEDs just yet. I may need to go with a brighter or a lower resistance. I'm already down to 460 ohms. I started with 1500, went to 1000, now I'm down to 470 ohms. And what it is this dictates how bright the parking lights are, is this resistor right here. So what I wanted to do is put it underneath the dash, so if at night, because you can see it's daytime right now and I want to get this stuff done, is if I don't like how bright it is, I can put the door panel back on. All I have to do is clip this, resolder it, and I'm all good to go. And it's just going to be right underneath my dashboard. So let me show you, it actually works. So they're off right now, you can see. But when I turn on my parking lights, ta-da! You see how they come on? And then whenever you turn on the blinker, so now for you get dual functionality of the LEDs. And then if you turn off the headlights or the parking lights, they actually go completely off now because you don't have juice going to them. This is called dual function LEDs. See, now they're back on. And then if I turn off my blinker, it's kind of hard to reach and not look. Now you have the driving lights. So I'm not sure how bright there's going to be at night. So that's why I want to put the resistor down low. So that way I can go to a 270 ohm or 100 ohm to make these brighter. So the lower that you go on your resistor as far as the ohm rating, the brighter these lights are going to be. So like I said, I'm down to a 460 ohm. This may be perfectly fine at night, but I just don't know. And I want to put chicken lights on top too, or cab marker lights, whatever you want to call them. So I want to make sure I'll be able to match the brightness whenever I get those on running too. So far this is good. I'm going to put everything back together and I'm going to run a second line over across and fish it through. This has taken me about 2.5 hours of experimenting with my different resistors. And also I'm going to shrink all this. You need to make sure you heat shrink all your connections to make sure that they do not touch or anything like that. So like I said, it looks good. I'm happy with it so far. I just may have to change the resistor values just to kind of tweak however brightness we want bright these to be. So we'll look at night. I'll videotape that. Everybody can let me know what they think. Alright, so here's the finished product on the blue connector. Now this is the connector that goes up to your mirror. So once again, it's the blue with the white tracer. And then this is my connection all taken care of. So I've got my red wire, which is my new one. And the way you run that As you can see, it's kind of behind here. I zip tie everything. I'm very meticulous about my zip ties. I ran down and followed the existing power or the existing wire harness and then came through down here. So it's all running in the same deal, and then it goes through the grommet there. So I'm going to put my speaker back in, put my door panel back on, and we'll take the other one off. I'll see if I can't videotape that one as I do it. So now, because I know exactly what's going on, and it won't take but 15 or 20 minutes. All right, so on the passenger door here, we got the little kick panel taken out down here, which goes to the this spot. So I went the other side. I actually came in from the inside of the truck. I still think that's going to be our best bet, and this can be a royal butt whipping to get it through here. We'll see if I can get it first shot on film. You got to kind of work it in the boot itself. Yeah, it's not going to want to come from the inside. This one's going to have to go in from the outside. So, try this again. And you can kind of feel it inside the boot. And of course, the access to this is so limited. But I got it. Let's see where it comes out here. And what I'm going to do is we take a little electrical tape. This little trick that I do in home theater. You wrap it around the hook and then wrap it around itself, and then use your black tape really tight, and that keeps it from pulling off if you're trying to pull through a tight space. Now, you never want to pull wires real fast because it can burn the wires that are right next to it. So we're gonna see if we can get lucky here. Just like that. So we're gonna pull just enough. Take my dikes, cut it off, throw our coat hanger away because obviously we've done the other door, and I'm going to take off this little stuff right here. And this stuff stretches real easy, so you got to be careful, and it always doesn't want to come off. And try not to tear it like I just did. So we're going to pull enough to zip tie. Alright, so I zip tie about every 3-4 inches just to make sure that it's going to be nice and tight and away from the window mechanism going down. And just fish it up. Alright, so it's fished up there. Put one last zip tie on here. And it's going to come down along with the blue wire on this side. So we want to make sure that your wire comes down nice and neat with your mirror wire. So I just put one little zip tie right here. Snip them all off nice and flush, and then measure it off about where you want it to be. Snip both wires. Strip them back. Twist the area that's going to the mirror. So this is our final amount that's going to our mirror, or final voltage going to our mirror. And like I said, we need to take a diode, which is here, and put it on this side to keep limiting the voltage from going back into the truck. And I'm going to refer to my instructions here real quick just to make sure we have the right voltage. And there it is. Actually not the right voltage, make sure we go the right way. So we want to make sure the white little line, the gray line, is actually away from where the voltage is coming from. So just slip it in, oh, we got, don't forget your shrink wrap. If you forget your shrink wrap, you're going to be dead meat. Alright, so we're going to slide our heat shrink on, cut it the right length, slide our heat shrink on, bunch it down, take our diode, and remember that the white line goes, or the gray line goes downstream, is the polarity. And you rev up your soldering iron and you locate the solder. Zachary, it's on the floor over there. The solder, the silver stuff sitting on the floor right there. Yeah, there should be a big spool of it over there. See, it's attached to a big spool. Thanks. Alright, so if you guys don't have a butane powered soldering iron, you ought to. This guy's awesome. It's from Radio Shack. It was about 18 bucks. Let the red go, fire it up, and within about 20 seconds, she's hot. Actually less than that. That was about 8 seconds. Hold it up to your wires. So I'm just going to throw my heat shrink on here. Heat shrink's easy. Just heat up your iron again. Look at there, it's still hot. And just hold it next to it where the heat comes out, or the exhaust. And shrink up your heat shrink. I think heat shrink is some of the best stuff ever created. Cool. Alright, so it's done. We're ready to put this door panel back on. That's all you have to do inside this door. That's it. So I'm going to reassemble everything, put this door panel back on the way it came, and then we'll take enough of our red wire and run it across and tie into our other one. Simple as that. Alright, so far so good. There's the, I got the hazards going here. So that's 470 ohm resistor. That's about probably half brightness is what it's going to. So half brightness, full brightness, half brightness, full brightness. So we'll see really what they look like whenever it gets dark. That's going to be the true test. I'd really have liked them to be just barely not as bright and just, you know, I don't know. We'll experiment with it. I'll drive around a couple of days like this. I left it easy enough to where I can get to it and play with it if I need to. And Radio Shack is right down the street. So what I do is I have it right underneath the dashboard here. You can see where I've heat shrunk it. I'm gonna wrap it with black tape too. You always want to do that. Even though you heat shrink it, you always wrap it in black tape also. And then I'll just zip tie it right here, and it's easily accessible. I can pull it out and razor it, put new diodes and stuff on there. So I'm going to continue my test to make sure that we don't have any cross-talking, which means whenever we turn on our blinkers, we don't get, actually, yeah, we want to make sure that whenever we turn on our blinkers, that we only have one working. You see we have the light still on. We have one going somewhat dim. And this one over here only has parking lights on. So we're going to go over here and turn off the parking lights. Okay. So we have no parking lights on right now. So we're going to turn on our blinkers and make sure that the blinkers are not reacting with the parking lights. So the proper parking light is blinking there and nothing else is blinking. So that means the diodes are doing their job. They're not letting bleed over come through. See? No parking light issues. The only blinker is working here. So now we're going to go to our left hand. Nothing reacting with parking lights. There we go. So it's all working. Alright, it's dark enough to get out here and test it now. I think I'm happy with these lights the way they are. You see there's the mirrors. Oh, help. Oh, watch. When you do the unlock. Boo! And then if you turn on the lights, I'm going to go ahead and, yeah. So lights are on. You see? They are plenty bright. You can see them from front, back, all around, even behind. See what it looks like on this side. Yeah, so you can see those too. So now let's turn on the hazards, which are basically the blinkers. Worked out pretty nice, didn't they? Like I said, I can't take credit for this really. He gave me the idea and I ran with it. So they're done. I'm happy. I'm leaving them at this brightness. They're perfectly bright whenever they're off. I can't complain at all. There we go. Mission accomplished. I'm happy. All right, guys. That's how you wire up a dual action diode system. This is how they do parking lights a lot of times in the ones that you buy for your truck. So thanks to the guy who posted it. I wish I could remember his name, but I kind of took his post and modified it and did my own thing. So thanks to everybody who gives information on this and all the forums out there. It really helps out. So hopefully this video will help out somebody come up with an idea and do the same thing maybe. But it's pretty neat, be able to have your parking lights on the mirrors at the same time. Talk to you later.